Is it doing any good, Tom?
Well, it keeps the pain from cutting too deep.
Don't forget, Tom, what you need isn't just medicine. You also need a will to get well.
That don't count for much, Mary Katherine. Not with the price of bread and meat and firewood rising the way it is.
God preserve you, Tom.
God preserve you, Mary Katherine.
This is quite a letter.
What is it?
The terms of peace offered by General Howe to America manifest the magnanimity, the generosity, humanity, and virtue of the British nation. My soul overflows with gratitude to the patriotic, virtuous king, the august, incorruptible Parliament, and the wise, disinterested ministry of Britain. I'm not able to express the feelings of my soul on the prospect of immediately seeing my native country blessed with peace and plenty. This is asking for trouble, Mary Katherine.
You're not taking it at face value, are you, Roger?
Oh, I'm not, but I bet you somebody will.
Can't think of anyone that's stupid.
There are a lot of men in this town who are a good deal more patriotic than reasonable.
I'm not worried.
Times are hard, Mary Katherine, and temper's short. Accepting the British proposal would be the same as surrendering. Maybe we oughtn't to poke fun at something people feel about so strongly.
Times are hard, Roger. That's just why we shouldn't do without a bit of humor now and then.
Who's this, Tom Tell Truth, anyhow?
I can't tell you that, Roger. I don't reveal the names of people who contribute to my paper.
Ah. But if there is trouble over this, are you going to be able to handle it?
I will.
You're just a woman. You keep forgetting that.
Not for a moment.
Running this printing shop all by her lonely self.
And enjoying it.
I do worry, Mary Katherine. I do.
Don't.
What you writing?
Copying a letter. A letter Mr. Adams got from his wife. It's kind of remarkable.
John Adams from Boston?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to read it to you, Roger.
Please.
Evening, Miss Goddard.
Good evening, Mr. Adams.
Got the documents ready?
We're still working on them, Mr. Adams. Would you care to check them?
Certainly. Thank you.
You said they'd be ready today, Miss Goddard.
Well, the presses are going as fast as they will. If our supplies do last.
The better. We have to have the whole lot before Congress adjourns the day after tomorrow.
Mr. Howard, is it all right if I show Mr. Adams a copy?
Yes, indeed.
How are the little ones, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, getting along as well as might be expected. They miss their mother.
They'll learn to live with their loss, if their father sets a good example.
I'm trying, Mrs. Black.
Are you really? You've been mourning Elizabeth for over 2 years now.
Feels more like 2 weeks.
Yes, I don't like these days without mail.
You can always read the old letters over. They're beautiful. Thank you for letting me copy this one.
Mrs. Adams will have the children fed by this hour.
Nabby's about old enough to help her, isn't she?
She is. They're good children. You don't know what you're missing, Miss Goddard.
I wonder if Mrs. Adams would be telling me that.
Abigail?
Oh, your dinner's ready downstairs, Miss Goddard. Oh, coming, Sissy.
I had better be on my way.
Well, got to go too. Can't trust that nurse.
What your children need is a mother, not a nurse.
What do you think, Mary Katherine?
I think you're old enough to make up your own mind.
Oh, my, you're a hard woman, Mary Katherine. Good evening.
Goodbye, Roger.
I'd say Mr. Phillips is a bit smitten, Mary Katherine.
Oh, it's just lonely. He keeps coming around here because there's always something doing.
Good evening, Miss Goddard.
Goodbye, Mr. Adams. Thanks again for the letter.
Remember the day after tomorrow, Miss Goddard.
We'll do our best, Mr. Simon.
I should say.
There's no confusion, Sarah. Just clutter. I know absolutely where everything is.
Anything's got to be better than this noise box full of machinery and bother. I don't see how you take it.
Nothing is better, Sarah. Nothing.
You actually like things this way. I'll never understand why. So much activity and danger, political intrigue and all.
It's exciting, Sarah. I've only got one life to live, Sarah. And I do not wish to spend it as a glorified scullery maid.
Is that what you feel about being a wife and a mother?
If I married, I'd wind up not owning a penny's worth of this. It'd all be his. All of it. Legally, I couldn't set a foot in here without his consent.
But Mary Katherine...
Why was this printed?
Gentlemen?
Why was this printed?
Why was what printed?
This letter. The one signed Tom Tell Truth.
I print everything submitted to me, sir. Surely you have no objection.
This letter is treason, Miss Goddard. Suggesting the acceptance of the British peace proposals. Why they'd have us surrender. Anyone with half a mind understands the deviousness of this Tell Truth character.
Anyone with half a mind wouldn't do anything but smile at this, Mr. Turnbull.
I see nothing humorous in treason, Miss Goddard. Now this Tom Tell Truth. Who is he?
Yes. Who wrote this?
Gentlemen, I told you that I print everything that arrives here for the paper. It's a free press, of no party. Now, if you wish to reply to that letter, I'd be happy to print that.
We're not asking you to print something. We're asking for a name. Who is Tom Tell Truth?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Mary Katherine.
Tory through and through, isn't she?
Tell him, Mary Katherine, for heaven's sake.
My position on independence has been clear for some time, and well known.
And it means publishing a letter urging surrender to the British, does it?
I'm afraid you've misread.
I can read the English language, Miss Goddard. Now, are you going to tell us who wrote this? Or do we have to take stronger measures?
The letter was submitted to me with that signature, gentlemen. Now, that is all I will tell you about it. The author does not wish to reveal his name, and I will not reveal his name. It's as simple as that.
Come on, let's get Colonel Ramsey. He'll know what to do with her.
All right.
I'm scared, Mary Katherine.
Go on home, Sarah. I can handle this.
I think you ought to tell him. Give him that name.
Don't worry, Sarah. You hear me? There's nothing to worry about. I'll see you tomorrow. Give little Sarah my love. Give her a big kiss for me, will you? Now, let's see. How many can you get out today?
About 40 or 50.
Well, do you think you can finish the whole order by day after tomorrow?
If the supply of paper holds out, Miss Goddard.
Well, I told Mr. Adams we could only do our best.
Miss Goddard?
Yes.
I'm Elizabeth Ingersoll. I advertised in your paper about a week ago for a farm manager.
Oh, yes, I recalled the notice. Your husband's with the Army, isn't that it?
With the Army, yes. And I'm due to be confined in 3 months' time. So I'll need help. For a while, at least. Has there been any reply?
These things take time. More than a week. People are slow in answering with the mail so uncertain. You're going to have to give it more time.
I'm kind of scared, Miss Goddard.
I can see why. Haven't you got a neighbor that can help out?
He's getting on in years.
Have you talked to him?
He cursed John for joining up. Fighting the king and all that. He says it's treason.
That doesn't mean he'll refuse you his help if you need it. I wish you the best of luck, Mrs. Ingersoll. Thank you.
Miss Goddard.
Colonel Ramsey.
A small matter. A mere oversight, I'm sure. A trifle that we can take care of in a second.
Yes, what is it?
My colleagues at the Whig Club tell me that you're unable to recall the author of this Tom Telltruth piece. Just a misunderstanding, I'm sure.
Oh, no. No misunderstanding at all. I can recall the author's name.
Well, then who is it?
I'm sorry, Colonel Ramsey. I can't tell you that. I have a duty to protect the names of my contributors should they request it, and the author of this piece has requested it.
With good reason.
Trash. Yes, trash.
Colonel Ramsey, tell your men to behave or I shall call the constable.
You do that, Miss Goddard. You do that. Call the constable.
The meaning of this, Miss Goddard.
The meaning of what? You're barging in here without so much...
You know very well what I'm talking about, my good woman.
Gentlemen, I will not stand for this. Take your rabble. Get them out of here, now. This instant, do you hear?
The name of the man who wrote this diabolical piece for your paper. Can we have it, please?
I already told Colonel Ramsey.
Miss Goddard. Miss Goddard, I advise you not to trifle with me. This is a serious matter. In every corner there are people who would betray the revolution, and they will succeed unless we stop them each and every time they call for treason. Can't you understand that?
Commodore, the piece is not treasonous, nor is it dangerous.
That's your opinion. You're wrong.
Benjamin, get the constable. Now, run!
Easy, Ben.
Stop it!
The name, Miss Goddard. The writer's name.
If you must know, Commodore, I got the piece from my brother William. I will not reveal the author's name to you. However, if William is willing...
Did your brother write it?
He did not.
Where is he?
I don't know.
It's a ruse. This calls for official action, Commodore.
Finish up the place. It'll be a fine lesson for them.
Don't you dare.
Shut your mouth, woman.
Sarah Black stopped by and told me there was some gentleman getting out of hand here. Is that so, Mary Katherine?
I'm glad to see you, Roger.
You keep out of this, my good man.
Easy, friends.
Keep your nose out of this business or the club will have a word with you as well.
Are you threatening me, Commodore? Commodore, are you threatening me?
Damn you.
Sir? Let him go.
Miss Goddard, your supper's all cold now.
Why don't you go and stay in the kitchen where you belong?
Pipe down, Commodore, and leave.
It's obvious nothing can be accomplished here, Commodore. I suggest we take this up at the next meeting.
Quite so, Colonel. You'll hear from us, my good woman. You and your brother.
They'll not bother you for a while. But the trouble isn't over, Mary Katherine. Don't worry. I'm not going to say I told you so.
You just did. Idiots.
Miss Goddard.
We'll be going home now, Miss Goddard.
Goodness, yes. We'll clean up tomorrow. I'm truly sorry, Mr. Howard.
Never mind. Good night, Miss Goddard.
Good night, Miss Goddard.
Good night, Miss Goddard.
Thank you, Roger.
A friend in need.
I was going to read you this letter, Roger, before this all started.
The one you copied? Mr. Adams' letter?
His wife's letter, yes. I'd like to know what you think about it. It's important to me. Very.
Read it then.
I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws, which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power in the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. That your sex are naturally tyrannical is a truth so thoroughly established as to admit of no dispute. But such of you as wish to be happy willingly give up the harsh title of master for the more tender and endearing one of friend. Are you laughing, Roger? Roger, why are you laughing?
The ladies. Now there's a revolution. It is a laughable thought. But come on, Mary Katherine, admit it.
I'll be closing up now, Roger. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And I have another long day to look forward to tomorrow.
Have I offended you, Mary Katherine?
I wish you didn't have to ask me that, Roger.
Well, you're not denying, are you, that men are masters in name only?
I'm tired, really, I am, Roger. Let's call it a day, please. Please?